Jonathan Gavoni here of DraftExpress.com. We're here in Boise once again at the D-League Showcase. Sitting here with Daniele Baiesi, Italian former GM of Angelico Biella, club Thabo Cephalosha played for, Jonas Jerebko. You guys have had some major contributions to the NBA recently. How is the D-League treating you so far, Bayo?
Treating me, the D-League? D-League is treating me very well. The food is great. The showcase is pretty interesting. Luckily, it's only going to last for 4 days, but I'm taking a long trip, no matter, just to keep myself posted. And I'm unemployed right now, so I'm taking my time and I'm enjoying the States.
What do you look for when you're coming to the D-League Showcase? How can this event help you for the future?
Since I'm unemployed, I would say a job, but it's too difficult. No, I'm kidding, of course, joking. I've always said that, an event like the D-League Showcase should be covered by any European team, because the American market is going to be always a place where, of course, all the teams are going to take players from. And there's the chance to see all the teams playing all together in 4 days time. And, you can see them live, you can see the size, the way they stay on the floor. And like it happened with Reese Gaines, it was a chance for me to see an old friend. So, especially, when you come over, you have to get ready to whoever falls through. There's Maurice Solomon right now in the D-League. I don't think he's going to stay in the D-League for a long time, but who knows? I was told that he was about to be signed in Europe, and you never know. Like I said, having an idea of how he's playing, what kind of guy he is, the physical shape, it's really important. So why not come in?
You've used the D-League before. You've signed guys like Keith Langford in the past. You bought him out of a D-League contract. Kevin Pinckney, BJ Elder. How do you recognize European potential in a D-League player?
Well, it's always kind of a bet. I mean, there's nothing for sure, because a player can, the same player can work very well in a system and work, not that good in a different kind of system. The details are very important, but my former club is very famous to be the right place for a player coming overseas, especially for the first time. It's not, what the players can do is, all the players are being scouted every day. There's a lot of scouting services, so you don't see what the player is capable to do, but sometimes you have the chance to talk to the guys and see what their expectations are, see what they want to do next season, why they're in the D-League. Because for people like me, I can barely understand why they play in a D-League where they're clearly underpaid, with all the pros and cons, but many cons and less pros, I think. And, that helps a lot to have a clear idea, at least of the kind of person you're going to sign. At the same time, there's some kind of issues you should take care of, especially the floor is different, the rules are different. The kind of basketball that they play here is a lot different than Europe. So, like I said, it's a kind of a bet. You place your bet on a player, and you're thinking that the player is going to adjust to a different kind of basketball, because we've been going over this yesterday with one of the players who recently played, and he recognizes the difference. The difference is because he played 3 years in Europe and he's back in the D-League, and he says, for example, there's nobody. If you're stronger than somebody, quicker than somebody, there's no way he can guard you. But at the same time, it's very tough to get adjusted to Europe, because if you are not a shooter, you're going to have hard times. So it's a lot of things, and all those details may contribute to make a decision, but you're not going to be 100% sure. And the last thing I think is the kind of feeling that the player is going to leave on your body once you leave the gym. This is the most important thing I trust when I used to sign a player.
So a D-League buyout could be as much as $45,000. That's a lot of money for a European team. Who are some of the guys that have stood out here to you so far as interesting prospects for Europe?
Well, I've always liked Garrett Temple from LSU. He's a great team player. He's a player I think who could have a great impact in Europe right away, I think, once he's signed.
Even though he's not a great shooter?
I mean, he's a great team player. He can do a lot of things. He has great basketball IQ, I think. He can play defense on multiple positions. He can pass the ball. He can make plays for the team, even if he's not a scorer. Everybody's looking for the best one-on-one player, probably. Many teams are looking for that. But I think this is a kind of quality that is disappearing year by year in Europe. And this is affecting also, I think, the coach's job. And, there are a lot of teams with many one-on-one players, but there's only one ball. And, signing a different kind of player is going to help me in evaluating the coach's job at the same time, because this should be my job. So, but like I said, there's Garrett Temple, of course, Maurice Almond, Joy Dorsey is really an animal. These are the three players that come to my mind right now. But there's a lot of, some interesting players that could be suitable for the Italian second division or minor leagues. For example, I saw Larry Owens again in the D-League. I thought he was going to be very good in Belgium, for example, but somehow it didn't work.
So you signed Jonas Jerebko to your club about 2.5 years ago. Unknown guy from Sweden, really nobody had ever heard of him before. Are you surprised at the way that he's playing so far in the NBA?
Since I met him for the first time, no. I mean, the team is not having a great season so far. They are going through a real difficult moment. I'm not surprised because Jonas is a tough kid. He's mentally so tough, and he succeeded in Italy in a place, with not big expectations, not a big salary, not big pressure, but a demanding coaching staff, and at the same time, tough teammates sometimes. Not tough personally, but tough teammates to play with. And for a guy that had not so much experience, he could have had really harder time. So I'm not surprised. He's in a great franchise. He's, as far as I know, the coaching staff is very happy. He found confidence around him, and he deserves whatever he's getting right now. So I'm not surprised at all.
It feels like, to me, this is my fourth D-League showcase now. Every year I see less and less European teams making the trip over. There's only one team from Spain, which is Granada here. Is that surprising to you, and is that a mistake?
No, it's not surprising me. There are many teams that are relying on some scouting services. Everybody's buying pretty much the same product, for example. But I really believe that a scouting should be personal and made on purpose. I mean, I've been working with the same coach for 6 years, and I'm still working with the same coach now, who coached Biella before the present coach. But he knows what I write down, and I know what he's looking for. So, like I said, scouting is so important for the clubs, but the crisis is the crisis everywhere. That's the first reason. Sometimes it's just an excuse. And I really believe that this could be a big step forward for every team. But I see very few of them are doing that. So that's also one of the reasons why I need to make a change. So not personally, but the philosophy of the clubs are sometimes different. And I had to go a different path because there were other clubs that needed my services. So this is what I'm doing here. I really believe they should come over, or at least have a coverage of the event, because that saves so much time. Not because you have to discover the most talented player ever, but seeing like 250 players at the same time, maybe more, helps you to have a picture of the D-League, a full picture of the D-League, and maybe helps you knowing who is not worth a contract, which is going to be maybe the 80% of the players. But at the same time, this is going to save you a lot of energy and a lot of time.